Hi, and welcome to week 14 of the I Formation. I'm Jeff Gibbons.
And I'm John Moist.
And, almighty pick partner you. 12-4 this week. I am humbled in your presence, as Ben Stein would say. You took the two that I went against John this week, and you took both of them away from me. So, pretty close in the standings. Matter of fact, a lot of these sports writers taking a bath this week. You did a really good job. You're in good company, and we're right at the top of the pile.
You still got me by 2. I'll catch you.
It's only early. It's only early, and we're going to vary on 3 different picks this week. Looking forward to getting right down to it, actually. Not a lot going on in the league. It was worth mentioning today. Apparently for those two Houston security guards that lost their job because they got their picture taken with Tom Brady.
Yeah, whatever.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I certainly have something to say about people who want to get their picture taken with Tom Brady. That's one thing, but lose their job over it, I don't know. It's kind of a challenging kind of a situation that you're going to do that to those guys.
I'll learn for a mental health assessment now.
Well, this is it, and yeah. Okay.
Mike Tomlin got fined $100,000 today for stepping on the field. That was a very expensive step.
It's one small step for the NFL.
We're not going to talk about that because it's been blown, really overblown.
We just did, man.
$100,000 though, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I suppose, it's like everything else. You got to set a precedent. I mean, yeah, well, I was only over the yellow line 4 feet.
Yeah.
You know what?
50 wouldn't have set a precedent.
No. No, apparently not. Not with these guys, deep pockets.
That'd be 6 figures.
It would have been interesting to see if that had been Bill Belichick, what would have happened. Sorry about that, Mr. Goodell. Anyway,
You would have gave him money.
Yeah, that's probably right. That's right. Commendation. Offensive player of the week.
Call him the 12th
Defensive
man.
player of the week. 12th man. No, it's just Bill Belichick. He just calls himself the man. That's the way. Anyway, get
On
ready.
with it.
On with it. We're going to jump right into our picks, folks. Stick around.
Welcome back to the I Formation, and now we're back with our picks for week number 14. Starting with the Thursday nighter, Houston Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. What do you think, Jeff?
Well, I don't think the same thing you think this week. This is going to be a close game. Two teams, Jacksonville, who have really shown some promise over the last few weeks. They weren't an 0-for team to begin with. I think there was some real structure there. A team on the grow. I'm glad they didn't go out and pick up Tim Tebow, but I'm not going to waste any more time on this. I just think Houston is a slightly better team. I think that they've had their ups and downs all year. I think this is a field goal, and I'm just giving it to Houston. I just think that they're ready.
Okay. Houston hasn't won a game since week 2, and Jacksonville is starting to play a bit well. They're starting to play some good defense. I'm not so sure that Houston is trying to tank the season here. Hard to say that about an NFL team, professional football team, but they haven't won since week 2. They played a good game last week against New England, but I think Jacksonville at home, I'm going to go with Jacksonville once again by a field goal or less.
Houston,
very close.
Houston do, that's all I'm saying. All right, next, we got Atlanta and Green Bay to play the Packers. Now, this is the Packers season, ultimately. We won't know on Aaron Rodgers till Friday or Saturday to see if he's going to be playing this week, which is a good sign because earlier this week, today being what? Today is Wednesday. Earlier this week, they were talking, they said, well, maybe he could be gone for the season. The fact that they're going to make a decision just before game time is promising. So, they've got Atlanta. Atlanta's been poor.
I think they win with or without him.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Line on this is about 3.5 points, and I think Green Bay covers the spread.
Yeah.
Good. Next, we've got Oakland in the Meadowlands to play the Jets, the Jekyll and Hyde New York Jets.
I think they announced that Geno Smith will play this game, and he's a turnover machine for sure lately. But he's gonna. I think that the Jets are going to show up for this one, shut down an Oakland running game that has been doing good as of late. And I see Geno Smith bouncing back with a bit of a better game here. And I think the Jets win this one outright. I'm going to give them a touchdown. I
think so too. And I think this Band-Aid and dental floss kind of running game that they have now, I mean, the injuries pile up. I mean, Jennings and certainly McFadden, neither which are 100% right now. No. I think that the Jets eat them alive on the ground.
I agree.
All right. Buffalo in Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers.
Well, the Buccaneers are looking like a better team as of late for sure. Had a rough game there last week, I believe, didn't they?
Yeah.
Who did they play last week? Carolina?
Yes.
And they lost that one 27-6, I think. But the Buccaneers' run defense has only allowed, I think, 2 rushing touchdowns in their last 4 games, so that their run defense is really good. And Buffalo lives and dies by the run. And I really think that Tampa Bay at home here will take Buffalo by a touchdown, maybe more.
Okay, I'm thinking this is a field goal game as well,
Okay.
but Tampa Bay is going to win this based on controlling Spiller on the ground. You're right. I think they got to keep this low. The harder the score gets here, the more chance Buffalo beats them. I think Tampa Bay wins in a low-scoring contest.
Good.
Next, we've got Cleveland in New England to play the Patriots, the 9-3 New England Patriots. Just don't get your picture taken with Tom Brady.
Cleveland has a good pass defense.
Not that good.
No, not, not the way that New England is playing right now with the weapons that they do have, and Brady being who he is. Oh no.
And that is?
Brady is a really good quarterback.
That is your 2 smacks.
Two
You want your
smacks.
picture taken with them, or just curious?
No.
All right. Bet you're right, though.
That's
Way
my
too much.
dartboard.
That's right, like ours up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see this even being close. Spread on this is 10.5 points, and I think New England covers it. Cleveland's a good team. They could give them a fright in the beginning, and the Patriots in the last 3 games have fallen behind in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
So Cleveland come out, squirt their pickle, so to speak,
I don't see it really though.
and
Yeah, they could come out. Could come out big. In the end, though, I think you're looking at the Patriots by maybe even 3 touchdowns. Yeah. Another one.
he deserved it. Right, it's not going to be close. Miami in Pittsburgh. This is another huge game with playoff implications for the wild card in the AFC. And we're going to disagree on this. And you know what? I'm going out on a limb. Last week, we both picked my Dolphins to lose to the Jets, and they handled the Jets. Defensively, they put on a clinic
For sure.
against the team. You know what? Pittsburgh is not without problems this year. They have shown some more promise now with the run game with Bell. But Bell is still going through concussion testing this week. Decisions haven't been made on him. And Roethlisberger's had some good games, but Miami's on the fence, I think, too, about Dimitri Patterson being back this week. And they are fairly healthy in that secondary. And I think that they're going to give Roethlisberger some trouble. They're going to have to stop Bell on the ground if Bell does indeed play this week.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your call on this?
My call is I think that Pittsburgh is a better football team. I think that Pittsburgh maybe should have won that game last week against Baltimore. Very close game, very well fought. Roethlisberger, and Miami might have went in and beat up on the Jets, yes. But Geno Smith has not been Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger is playing at the top of his game right now. He has 9 touchdowns and only 1 interception in his last 5 games. And I just think that Pittsburgh's a better team. They're at home. Their backs are against the wall. And I think Pittsburgh wins this one by 10 points.
And here's my call on this. I'm going to say something really weird. I'm going to say that Miami wins this game by 5 points. And I'm going to say that in the first half you're going to see the table set. I think Miami blitzes this week, and I think they go after Roethlisberger. They've got the depth. Well, you got to get Cameron Wake and these guys into that backfield, and you're going to have to make Roethlisberger make plays.
I see a big game for Roethlisberger and Heath Miller.
And I'd certainly love to see Mike Wallace go back there and catch a touchdown pass deep. We'll see how it all goes. 5 points, Miami. Anyway, another one we did agree to disagree. Next, we've got Detroit going into Philadelphia. Surprised by this one. Philadelphia holding the favorite, being the favorite right now, under a touchdown. Under a field goal. And we both like Detroit here.
We do. Philadelphia, yes, they are on a 4-game winning streak. Their opponents have not been great, though. I don't think that they've, in the 4-game winning streak, the only opponent that they faced was above 500 was Arizona. And
also, they're horrible at home compared to on the road.
Their pass defense is not very good at all, and they're up against Matt Stafford here and Calvin Johnson. Yeah, I just don't see it. Philadelphia at home, LaShawn McCoy is certainly going to give them a good game, but I think Detroit's the pick here.
Well, that Detroit's defense is still nothing to sneeze at either.
Oh, that's for sure.
A top half defense. I'm saying close, maybe a touchdown.
I agree.
Okay. Next we've got Minnesota in Baltimore to play the Ravens, and this is one you got to be really careful with these Minnesota Vikings these days. It seems like they've only won 3 games all year, but it seems like they're winning every time that you're not expecting them to win.
Baltimore's playing well on defense, but once again, I see this as a close game. I really do, because Minnesota is capable of controlling the game with Adrian Peterson on the ground and controlling some of the clock and keeping this as a low-scoring game. And I see Baltimore winning at home, and I see it by a field goal. I really think it's going to be close.
I see Baltimore's key here would be the turnover game. I mean, Peterson early in his career was prone to dropping the football. I think they got to go after him. They've got to control Peterson on the ground, and they got to try to pull that ball out and make things happen. I think they do. They win this, and I think they win it by a score.
Okay.
Okay. Next, we've got Kansas City in Washington to play the Kansas City Chiefs.
And Washington not looking very good still.
Washington to play the Kansas City Chiefs. We knew what I meant there. Yes, but this is close on the line right now, and they're in Washington. I mean, closer than I would have taken it. I mean, the point spread of 3.5 points. I mean, Washington is capable at home of breaking out.
There.
But you're right. I just don't see that Kansas City defense. This is a very important game. They need to keep pace.
Their defense is having trouble lately. I see them really bouncing back in this one. RG3 is just not playing good balls as he's capable of. They're capable of shutting down Morris on the ground, and I think that...
I don't think they can handle Jamal Charles.
No, exactly. That's what I was about to say. I don't think Jamal Charles is going to be having a bad game in this one. I see him getting a couple of touchdowns for sure.
It'd be interesting to see if it is close, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we've got Indianapolis going into Cincinnati to play the new and improved Cincinnati Bengals.
I think the Bengals are going to beat up on them. That's what I think. I don't think Indianapolis has as good a team as Cincinnati. They don't have as good a defense as Cincinnati. And offensively, they may have been able to keep up before Reggie Wayne went down earlier in the season. I think Cincinnati overall also has a better offense, just an all-around better football team. And I think they're going to light them up.
I agree too. And here's setting the pace. I'm going to call this the goof-proof guarantee. I'm going to say that Cincinnati gets at least one defensive touchdown in the first half and puts them over the top. That front seven of Cincinnati, fantastic. And you've been saying it all year. Okay, next we've got Tennessee in Denver to play the Broncos.
Tennessee's got a decent pass defense. They might be able to score some points on the Broncos because, well, Broncos pass D hasn't been playing great. The rush defense is still playing well. They can shut down Chris Johnson. I still see Denver here by 2 touchdowns.
Denver, time of possession, 52 minutes. Tennessee, 8. Denver by 10 points.
Listen, if Denver gets the ball for 12 minutes, they'll score 30 points in this one. But Tennessee does have a good pass D, and they might be able to, maybe they get a defensive score and keep it.
Let's make sure Denver doesn't take them too long. That's the only thing that can cause the problems here. But you're right, Denver by a paw. Next we have Seattle in San Francisco to be one of the pristine matches of this week.
Yes, I'm very surprised to see
in San Francisco, did I say? Yeah.
Yes. I'm very surprised to see San Francisco is favored in this one. Was it 2.5 on the line?
2.5 points on the line.
The way Seattle is playing, are really. San Francisco's a great team, and I think they're probably the second best team. They might be the second best team in the NFC right now. The Saints are up there too, but Seattle is just the best team in football right now.
And of course, the 12th man, baby.
Yeah, broken out a record, caused an earthquake apparently.
I was waiting for you to say, wait a minute. Loader's home now laughing on his chair. He said, yeah, but they're playing in San Francisco. Yes, but they can still hear them.
I didn't even catch that right away.
That's okay, man.
I'm sure Paul's getting kicked up.
Paul, I hope we're right on this. And I think Seattle shuts down Colin Kaepernick and the read option, and I think causes problems. And defensively, there's points here.
What's going on here too is that Harbaugh hasn't used the read option with Kaepernick as much as he did last year, and he's trying to keep something up his sleeve, and he thinks he's going to go in and surprise Pete Carroll and say, "Oh, I'm going to use this now." And I see Kaepernick trying the read option is going to be used a lot more in this game. It's not going to fool him, and I really think that Seattle. It's going to be a close game, but I think Seattle wins it.
Harbaugh didn't use the read option as much this year with Colin Kaepernick, much like the Dolphins coaching staff didn't use the Wildcat with Ronnie Brown so much the next year. And I think it's because everybody gets it now, and it's the flavor of the week has gone flat. I don't think, and I've said this a few times, I'm still not sold on Kaepernick. He's had one pristine game this year. He had one there, threw 3 touchdown passes a couple of weeks ago in a winning effort. But you know what? I'm pretty sure, given myself the right set of circumstances and a good O-line, I could probably throw 3 touchdown passes as well.
And coming from a Broncos fan, I will say again that Seattle is the best team out there right now.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
Them in Miami. All right.
Yeah. Really.
All right. You'll be speaking on the other side of your mouth when they make it. Okay. Next, we've got St. Louis in Arizona to play the Cardinals. And we both see this the same way.
Arizona should be able to shut them down defensively. I don't see St. Louis scoring very many points in this one.
Don't count these Cardinals out yet. They're in the picture. They are in the hunt.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see if they sneak into the playoffs in that wild card position, how that impacts the rest of those conference matchups.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, rooting for them. And I think you're right. I think it's a touchdown here, at least. Next, we've got the Giants in San Diego to play the Chargers.
We both like the Chargers.
I flipped on this one a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Manning gets the job done. He gets the ball out wide to the receivers against those corners. But I'm going to think that Phillip Rivers is also going to get the job done against that, with those big plays. I think he's just been, and I'm not a Rivers fan, we've said that before, but this is a career year for Phillip Rivers. He's gotten the job done at several 300 and 400 yard passing collectives, I guess, over the year, and they're winning a few games. So I think San Diego wins this. It's going to be like a 31-28 kind of game, maybe.
I was about to say 31-27.
Okay.
So we're on the same page for sure on this one.
Absolutely. But that makes a big difference to our pro-line fans out there, 31-28, 31-27.
Yeah, that's right.
So that one point, we're not going to commit one way or the other. Okay, also we've got Carolina in the Big Easy to play the New Orleans Saints. The line on this is pretty close, too. They've got New Orleans favored, give it 3.5 points here.
Carolina's on an 8-game winning streak, that's why. But I think New Orleans is such a great team at home. They haven't lost at home yet this year. And they are a dome team, as they proved last week. But that's not...
Drew Brees was also held to 170 yards last week.
Yeah, that's right.
By that Seattle Seahawks defense. And I think that Carolina, given the right set of circumstances, could come up with a big effort against Brees as well. I think this is a lot closer than people want to give it credit for. And it's divisional. It's the kind of thing where, teams are up for it. And this has huge implications as well for the for those playoff spots. So at the end of the day, I see New Orleans. Jimmy Graham probably catches the ball late.
Yeah.
Marches on the field.
I don't think they're gonna score a slew of points against this Carolina defense, but I do think that New Orleans wins the game by a touchdown.
New Orleans needs to score 21 points to beat the Carolina Panthers. That's my call.
I like it.
All right. Finally, the Monday Nighter. Another huge game. Dallas is in Chicago to play the Chicago Bears. And of course, it wouldn't be a Monday Night Football game without us disagreeing on it. I see Chicago. What I think is going to happen here, and the line on this is really close, 1.5 points to give for Chicago, who's favored in this game right now, because they're at home. That's how close the line is. But I think Dallas, it's going to be a case of Dallas taking this team lightly. They have been up and down all season. Dallas is making a run for this, for the division lead. I think they're in the division lead now. I think in their division.
Yeah.
But you got a couple of teams nipping at their heels, and I think that I don't know. There's some part in the cosmos is telling me that, and I think it's Graham Anthony screaming at me that Tony Romo is going to finally implode. I think about the interception he threw against Denver, 2 minutes to play. You can hardly fault the man who almost broke an NFL record that day. I mean, no interception is an interception. It could have happened. But, Tony always seems to be in the spotlight about blowing the big game, right? And I think this is going to be blowing the big game. I think this is where the Dallas Cowboys make the mistake of letting some light in that playoff race. And I think Chicago beats them with a kick at the horn.
I hope you're right, because I do like the Bears a lot more than I like the Cowboys. However, if the Bears had Charles Tillman in this game and Lance Briggs was healthy and playing for sure, then I would go with the Bears. But they're going to miss those big players on defense. Their defense has not been playing as good lately. Tony Romo has been having a pretty good year, and I think that he's going to hit that bum Des Bryant a couple of times in this one. Let's see.
The greatest receiver in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Des Bryant.
I think that Dallas will win a close game against Chicago.
If Chicago had Tillman and Briggs, whoa, did you want to throw Mike Singletary in there, Brian Urlacher, and maybe Walter Payton?
I just don't think Chicago defense has been playing as well these past few games as they did when they had Tillman and Briggs in the lineup.
It's definitely holes. There's definitely holes to fill. But it's hard to say that they're not playing defense by committee. They're finding ways to win. They're staying in the hunt. And I think they make a statement this week and they beat Dallas.
I hope you're right. But I'm going to go with Dallas. Big game for DeMarco Murray on the ground.
Dallas. Ooh. Anyway. That's the picks for the week, folks. Stick around. We're going to give you our players and our teams of the week.
Welcome back to the I Formation, and we're here with our picks for Team of the Week and Player of the Week. Who do you like for Player of the Week, Jeff?
I'm going to go out on the defensive line this week, and I'm going to pick Cameron Wake to have a big game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he's going to be all over Roethlisberger like white on rice. Who do you like?
I like Bobby Rainey, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that he's a great little rookie running back. Buffalo is having trouble on the run defense, and I think Rainey's going to run all over him.
Sounds good. Who do you like for Team of the Week this week?
Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're going to come up with a huge game against Indy. Indy hasn't been looking as good as of late, and I think Cincinnati is going to show that they're a much better team.
What's all that rotten luck they have? Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, you're right, and I'm hearing the Bengals show up more and more in these kinds of picks. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears. I'm picking them to beat Dallas. I think it's going to be an upset. They're at home. They're favored on the line by the slimmest of margins. But in the real world, a lot of people think that Dallas are just going to mow them over. I think Chicago sneaks one in there and they give Tony Romo and company a scare.
And I'll be happy to lose that pick, like the Bears.
Well, you should be happy. You've been losing picks out of here. You had a good week this week.
Two behind, pal. Two behind.
Two behind. To be continued. How about that? Anyway, that's the way we saw it this week, folks. Stick around. Come back and see us next week. Like us on Facebook. Certainly the I Formation page. We also have a Twitter feed, _I_formation. And we now have a Gmail, and that is the iformation@gmail.com. Send us your thoughts, your feelings, anything you'd like to see, anything you'd like to take away. We're all about listening to what you have to say. And we've been watching the mails as they come in, and we've been trying to make some incorporations. So let us know how you feel. And thanks again to everyone that comes out every week to see this show. It makes it worthwhile for us to do it. So, anything to add?
We're good.
Awesome. So, that's it for this week. So, until next week, it's good night for me.
And it's good night from him. Have fun.